What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, undefeated, two-division world champion, who currently is the unified super featherweight WBC, WBO world champion, Olympic silver medalist, superstar boxer, Shakur Stevenson, who is 18 wins, no losses, no draw, 9 wins by way of knockout. He is 24 years of age, 5'8" with a 68-inch arm reach. He's coming off of the biggest victory in his career over, at the time, was undefeated two-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Oscar Valdez, in which he completely outclassed and dominated Oscar Valdez to become the unified super featherweight world champion. It's being reported that Shakur Stevenson is going to face off against Robson Cassacio September 23rd in defense of his titles in his hometown of Newark, New Jersey at the Prudential Center, okay? So it looks like he's going to have a homecoming fight. He's going to face off against Robson Cassacio, who arguably beat Oscar Valdez in his last fight. So we know there was a lot of controversy surrounding the Oscar Valdez-Robson Cassacio fight because Oscar Valdez, he tested positive for a banned substance going into that fight. Robson Cassacio is an Olympic gold medalist for Brazil. And Oscar Valdez was allowed to continue on with the fight. He wasn't stripped of his title. Nothing happened, okay? So with that said, the fight took place, and you can make a case, as many have, that Oscar Valdez, he lost that fight to Robson Cassacio, okay? He's a very rangy, tall, skilled boxer with a high ring IQ. He's a difficult style to deal with, okay? And so with that said, you know, nonetheless, you know, Oscar Valdez, he got the nod. You know, he beat Robson Cassacio, and that was a hometown fight. So it seems like Robson Cassacio is going on a streak to compete for hometown fights. Okay, he went into the Oscar Valdez fight 16 wins, no losses, no draws, with 8 wins by way of knockout. Okay, and this was in Oscar Valdez's backyard. It was in Arizona. Okay, so Robson Cassacio is now 17 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 8 wins by way of knockout. 33 years of age, 5'10" and a half with a 70-inch arm reach. Okay, he's coming off a victory against Xavier Martinez, which he won a unanimous decision. Okay, so with that said, this is it's going to be a tough fight, you know, for Shakur Stevenson. He's very tall, very rangy, but Shakur Stevenson's very skilled. So with that said, Shakur Stevenson has let it be known now that this plus one more fight is going to be his last 2 fights at 130. Now he's planning to move up to 135. This is, in my opinion, a lot sooner than many people expected, including myself. I didn't expect to see Shakur Stevenson move up to 135 this quickly. I thought that Shakur Stevenson was going to look to secure undisputed at 130, okay? There's 2 other belt holders at 130, and I thought that he was going to look to secure those belts, as he stated that was his plan, to become undisputed. But now Shakur Stevenson is saying he has 2 more fights at 130, and he's putting the 135-pound division on notice sooner rather than later, okay? Which is a shocker, okay? Again, because I expected him to go after those titles. We know Gutierrez, he holds the WBA title, and we know that you know, Shakur Stevenson was en route to fight Christopher Colbert, who was the mandatory for the WBA title and was supposed to face off against Gutierrez, but he lost. Okay, he lost his fight, and he lost the opportunity to fight for the mandatory position because Gutierrez, he had, you know, got an illness, and he was initially slated to face off against Chris Colbert, but he got sick, okay? And once he got sick, you know, then the fight got canceled, and then Chris Colbert, he fought a replacement, okay? He fought a replacement opponent, and Roger Gutierrez was pulled from the fight. He fought, you know, a replacement opponent, and he lost, okay? He lost big time. And so with that said, you know, now there's 3 champions, okay? There's Roger Gutierrez, there's Joe Cordina, who he too, he shocked the world. Okay, so there's a lot of shockings that's taking place in this division, but he shocked the world. Okay, so now these are fights that I thought Shakur Stevenson was going to pursue. Okay, I thought he was going to pursue these fights against Roger Gutierrez and Joe Cordina. And Joe Cordina recently he stated that he wanted to fight with Shakur Stevenson. In the UK, he's from the UK. So he stated that he wanted to fight. He didn't mind fighting and unifying the belts against Shakur Stevenson in the UK after he shocked the world. Now he's 15 wins, no loss, no draw, 9 wins by way of knockout, 30 years of age. He's 5'9" with a 69-inch arm reach. He shocked the world, beating Kenichi Ogawa via second round knockout. Now Kenichi Ogawa, he was initially the IBF champion, and Joe Cordina, he shocked the world and knocking out Kenichi Ogawa to become the champion. So he's from the UK. So he initially stated that he wanted to fight. Okay, and I thought after there was talks that Shakur Stevenson could possibly face off against Emmanuel Navarrete, okay, who was a 126-pound champion, 2-division world champion, but that fell through. Okay, and so once that fell through, I thought when Joe Cordina, he raised his hand and said, I'll take the fight. Okay, and we know Hector Garcia, he upset Chris Colbert, so now Hector Garcia is looking like he's going to be in line because, again, like I stated, Chris Colbert was the mandatory for Roger Gutierrez, but Roger Gutierrez, he got sick, he had to be pulled from the fight. Chris Colbert, he faced off against Hector Garcia, he lost. Now Hector Garcia and Gutierrez seem like they on par to face off against each other. And then Kenichi Ogawa, he got upset by Joe Cordina, who raised his hand when Emmanuel Navarrete pulled out the opportunity to fight Shakur Stevenson. So now it looks like it's going to go in a different direction, and with Shakur Stevenson facing off against Robson Cassacio September 23rd in his hometown, and he's saying he only wants one more fight at 130. Well, that's impossible for him to become undisputed. Maybe he becomes unified. Maybe he fights the winner of Roger Gutierrez, Hector Garcia fight, or maybe he fights Joe Cordina and unifies the belts. But I think that if he does fight, let's say he fights Joe Cordina or Roger Gutierrez, Hector Garcia winner, I think that Shakur Stevenson, will stick around for one more fight. Now, there's a lot of people that feel like Shakur Stevenson is just simply too big for 130 pounds. He needs to move up, okay? Maybe that's the case, and maybe that's the reason why he's saying 2 fights and then he putting the 135-pound division on notice. Well, those are major fights for Shakur Stevenson at 135. Obviously, ESPN, they slated Shakur Stevenson and undisputed lightweight world champion superstar boxer Devin the Dream Haney, who is 28 wins, no loss, and no draw, 15 wins by way of knockout, 23 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. They claimed that Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson is going to be the biggest fight in boxing in the coming years. Okay, they feel like that's going to be the biggest fight in the sport of boxing, and so that's on the horizon. And then obviously Shakur Stevenson, he recently had a spat with undefeated 3-division world champion superstar boxer Gervonta Tank Davis, who is 27 wins, no loss, no draw, 25 wins by way of knockout, 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach at 27 years of age. But Shakur Stevenson, he stated, let's make it happen next, after Gervonta Tank Davis fought his fellow stablemate in Rolando Rolly Romero. And Tank Davis, he said, I might have to go down to 130 and fight Shakur Stevenson. But then after the fight, he stated that he's comfortable at 135. So maybe Shakur Stevenson is pursuing that 135 division, right? Maybe he's pursuing that fight with Gervonta Tank Davis, right? There was some words between Shakur Stevenson, Rolly Romero, Ryan Garcia. So those are huge fights up there. It was considered the Four Kings, the new Four Kings 2.0. The initial Four Kings was Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran, and Tommy Hitman Hearns. Well, they stated that the new Four Kings was Devin Haney, Gervonta Tank Davis, Teofimo Lopez, and Ryan Garcia. And you had you also have Vasyl Lomachenko, who's on already established, but he's young. He's 34 years old, so he's 10 years older than all of them. So Shakur Stevenson, he recently stated that he wanted to fight Lomachenko. So these are opportunities and big fights for Shakur Stevenson. Seem like he's going to be on the hunt of becoming a 3-division champion, and sooner rather than later, quicker than we thought. I thought he was going to fight at 130 for at least 3 more fights, but it seems like he's throwing his hat in the mix, and that's going to be huge news. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. First things first, you got to get past Robson Cassacio, September 23rd. It's going to be a chess match. It's going to be a tactical fight, and it may not be the most exciting, right? But it'll be exciting for the hardcore boxing fans. So let's see how everything unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to